Hi, this is Kelly. Those of you that have missed the Strategic Networking webinar, I'd like to share a very timely question from the webinar and thinking about whether LinkedIn is your strategic network. Well, this is kind of a loaded question. I think LinkedIn is a good way to research people. So let me give you the example so recently I gave a video interview with Magdalena Yasio, who's the first founder of Salesforce.com. So I don't know her. She's not even a third degree connection. And the way I found her was I heard a podcast that she did. And she just wrote a book called Power Up, if you saw the video. So her book is about empowering women and actually men too in the tech industry. And I read the book, thought about some of the key ideas that I really liked. And then I found her on Facebook and just messaged her saying, hey, I teach at UCSD. I really like those ideas. Is there any way I could talk to her some more about it and maybe even do a guest interview? Fortunately, she kindly said yes. And I think the reason why that worked is because we connected on the idea level, right? Because her book was just published and she's trying to gain more audience. And by me coming along to say, hey, your idea is great. It really resonated with me. I can really use that to connect with my students. And that's why I think that connection worked. And so when I think about entrepreneurs, I would say do your research on LinkedIn. Do your research in terms of, who are the people that are really active in X and Y field? Or if you're trying to look for a new job position, look at the companies you want to get into. And you can easily do that in LinkedIn, right? In your search, like, look for, Qualcomm or look for Illumina or even smaller company. And then when that company pops up, it shows you, here are all the 50 employees that work for company XYZ, right? And if they are connected to you, it'll say second degree or first degree or third degree. So obviously, first degree, it's great to just call up somebody that you already know. First degree, you're already connected. Second degree, you'll have to make an introduction, right? And then third degree, that's where David Burkus's book is really helpful to have your friend of a friend help you make that introduction. And so I haven't found that to be too effective using the third degree introduction. But like I said, what has worked for me is to connect with people on their ideas. And also, I think in a big company, I've said this tip before to some of my students at Illumina. One of them mentioned that, they were going to make the connection with the top executives by playing dodgeball because the executives always play dodgeball. And so apparently the winning team gets to play the top executive team and therefore gets to spend time with them. And I would say, sure, that's one way, right? To connect with people either on a hobby or a sport, some other field. But I would say try to look for initiatives that top executive is really passionate about. So these days it could be Me Too, or it could be racial bias in the case of Starbucks. And so whoever the VP or CEO that's behind that initiative cares very deeply about that issue, right? And I think if there's a way you can give them feedback, either via email or stop by their office, telling them, hey, I went to the Starbucks training. Here are some of the great things that I saw, but here are some additional things that I think we can work on. And I think those are ways to make that connection, to really hone in on the initiatives that are important to those people.